Let me ask you a question that might hit a little too close to home. Are you absolutely tired of the extreme Texas heat destroying your household budget every single August? You know the exact feeling. You open that envelope or click that email notification, and suddenly your monthly expenses have doubled. Literally just because you're trying to survive a 105-degree heat wave. It's this massive seasonal bill shock that catches so many of us off guard year after year. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how utility budget billing plans can become a total financial game changer for your Texas household. We are going to look at the exact mechanisms these companies use, the rules that govern them, and how you can leverage them to really take control of your financial stability. Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. Understanding budget billing, eligibility and prerequisites, the application process, monitoring and adjustments, and finally, common questions and troubleshooting. Section 1. Understanding budget billing. So the main benefit here is pretty clear. On the left side, seasonal billing means you're basically held hostage to the weather. You get incredibly volatile payments based on extreme usage. But on the right, budget billing provides predictable, smoothed-out monthly payments. Now, I want to be perfectly clear about something. Budget billing doesn't actually reduce your overall utility expenses over the course of a year. You still pay for exactly what you use. What it does is smooth out those terrifying seasonal spikes into predictable, manageable chunks. Imagine knowing exactly what your electric bill will be in July, before summer even starts. Now, what's really interesting about how the Texas Administrative Code officially defines these plans is the firm distinction between the two main types. First, there's the level payment plan. This is where you're charged exactly 1/12 of your estimated annual use every single month. It's totally fixed, with an annual true-up at the end of the year. Second is the average payment plan. This one is more of a rolling formula. It charges 1/12 of your current month's use plus your past 11 months. So an average plan is going to fluctuate slightly month to month, while a level plan stays completely flat until its designated review period. Section 2. Eligibility and prerequisites. So the absolute crucial point here is that you can't just jump into a budget plan when you're already behind on your bills. You generally have to have a clean payment history and a current balance of 0. No active payment extensions allowed. You also need a bit of a track record. Usually that's somewhere between 6 and 12 months of billing history so the utility company can calculate a fair average. Interestingly enough, if you're a brand new customer to home, some providers will actually let you substitute the address's historical usage to build your estimate. Though, that does carry the funny risk of inheriting the previous owner's terrible energy habits. Let's look at some real-world examples to put this into perspective. The landscape really varies depending on where you live and who you buy your power from. Competitive retail electric providers, like TXU Energy, are actually a bit more flexible. They only require one single billing cycle of history to enroll you in their average monthly billing. But if you look at municipally owned utilities, like CPS Energy down in San Antonio, they require a full year of clean history for their budget payment plan. Austin Utilities sits right in the middle, requiring 6 months at your current address. Section 3. The application process. All right, here is your action plan. Step 1. Gather your past utility bills to understand your usage patterns. Step 2. Make absolutely sure any outstanding balances are paid off so you hit that zero balance prerequisite we just talked about. And step 3. Just apply. Enrolling is completely free, and providers make this highly accessible. For instance, you can use the TXU Energy My Account app on your phone, you can log into the CPS Energy Manage My Account portal, which calculates your new rate in seconds, or simply call their customer care lines. Honestly, they want you on these plans because it ensures steady, predictable revenue for them too. Section 4. Monitoring and adjustments. This visualization is great because it shows exactly how the math works in your favor and also why it requires a bit of monitoring. Notice how in a mild January, your actual usage is very low, but your budget plan line is much higher? You're intentionally overpaying in the winter. Why? To build up a credit balance on your account. That accumulated credit acts like a financial shield, absorbing the massive towering spike of your August air conditioning usage so your out-of-pocket payment doesn't suddenly double. But because actual weather and fuel costs fluctuate over time, utilities do have to balance the scales eventually. Depending on who provides your power, your exact payment is going to be adjusted periodically. For example, Austin Utilities has a strict 6-month review interval, where they look at your debit or credit balance and adjust your next 6 months accordingly. CPS Energy, on the other hand, does an annual 12-month reconciliation. These check-ins are just to ensure you aren't straying too far from your actual consumption costs. Section 5. Common questions and troubleshooting. Okay, this is probably the most critical question we get. What happens if you miss a payment? Well, consider this a massive warning. If you miss a payment or even pay an insufficient amount on plans with Austin Utilities or TXU Energy, you face immediate program disqualification. And it gets worse. If you get kicked out, your entire accumulated deferred balance, meaning all that money you deferred during the hot summer, becomes due instantly on your very next bill. Now, you might be thinking, well, if I get kicked out and owe a huge balance, I'll just switch to a new electric company. Yeah, not so fast. This regulatory quote right from the Texas Administrative Code highlights a very serious protection mechanism for the utility companies called a switch hold. You cannot just switch providers to escape a deferred balance that you accumulated during the summer. They will literally block your account from transferring until you pay every cent of what you owe. But let's say you do everything right. You make all your payments, but at the end of the year, your true-up shows a huge debit balance just because it was a record-breaking summer. What then? Thankfully, some providers are pretty empathetic to this. For example, if you reach your annual reconciliation with CPS Energy and you have a debit balance over $300, they aren't going to force you to pay it all at once. They'll actually let you roll that into a 12-month installment plan right on top of your new budget amount. But what if you're listening to this and realizing you don't even qualify for a budget plan right now because of past due balances? Don't worry, there are some excellent financial assistance programs available. Texas utilities partner heavily with local agencies to help out. CPS Energy has the Affordability Discount Program and the REAP Fund. Reliant Energy utilizes the CARE program, which you can access just by dialing 211. Atmos Energy has Sharing the Warmth, and Austin Utilities offers a really robust customer assistance program. These can provide direct bill relief to help you get back to a zero balance, so you can eventually get on one of these budget plans. So, what is the ultimate takeaway for us here? By smoothing out those brutal Texas weather spikes, you can finally gain some real financial predictability. You can take control of your budget instead of letting the weather control your wallet. I highly encourage you to look into these options for your own home. And hey, if you're already on one of these plans, please share your budget billing experience in the comments below. Finally, please remember that utility rules update frequently. You should always reach out directly to your provider to confirm your personal eligibility and ensure all application steps are totally up to date. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer. So I'll leave you with this. Is next August going to be just another financial emergency, or is it going to be the year you finally take control of your utility budget?